Hello everyone. This module is a discussion on events management and MICE introduction. So, what are the course outcomes for this module? So, we will be discussing on MICE in the hospitality and tourism industry, events management in general and all of its components, and identifying some of the different types of events and MICE or MICE as they call it. So on this slide is a description of what an event is. It's actually a general term indicating the coming together of a number of people in a place to confer or carry out a particular activity. So as you see, events are temporary and the purpose is of and purposive gatherings of people. So what is an event management then? As you see here in this slide, there is a description of what an event management is, but the most important key term that would be identifying an event management would be planning, organizing, staffing, and directing and controlling a particular event. Now, here on this slide are types of events. You can see five types of events. So there are events based on size, events categorized under MICE or MICE, events based on content. There are also sporting events or sports events, events that have an advocacy and philanthropy. So if you look at it, the events based on size, there are those. There are two types. Sorry for the typo here. There are two types. There are mega events and hallmark events. Mega events are large events generally targeting international markets. An example would be the Olympic Games. Locally, we have the Palarong Pambansa. Um, Now, we also have the hallmark events. It's designed to increase the appeal of a specific tourism destination or region. A common hallmark event in our country, we call it fiesta or festival. We have the Pahias Festival in Baguio. Now we also have events under the MICE or MICE. So what does MICE mean? As you can see in this slide, it's called meeting, event, incentives, conventions, and exhibition. So it does affect, it is concerned with the tourism industry because it greatly affects it because in conducting MICE or MICE, there you would need transportation, accommodation, food and beverage, attraction, travel and trade, which is mostly connected with tourism. It should generate multiple benefits to the host country or region. Now, what is a meeting? So a meeting is, as you can see in this slide, it takes place when two or more people come together with a common agenda, either for the purpose of education, training, team building, or with a similar likes. So what are the types of meeting? There are conferences, congress, and other types. So, as is defined here, a conference is an event used by any organization to meet and exchange views, convey a message, open and debate, or give publicity to some of the opinions on specific issues. As you can see also here, we have some examples of conferences that has been held here in the Philippines, like the Philippine International Entrepreneur Conference Expo, which is held every year. We have here the DevCon Summit every year also. So what is a congress? The regular coming together of large group of individuals, generally to discuss a particular subject, and normally runs several days compared to a conference. Some examples are here also below. You have the World Street Food Congress that was held in MOA last 2017. So what are the other types? We have symposium. We also have a lecture, panel, a workshop. So as defined, these four are defined here also. We also have a forum, seminars. We have clinic. which is I think one of the more popular clinic here is the Milo desk. Usually a training activity, usual sporting events. Here is a poster of the Milo clinic, sports clinic, basketball clinic. We have retreats. It is also generally spiritual in nature and usually conducted in a location away from the city, where there would be conventions or some type of accommodation that would take you to a very remote place. So, what is incentive then? It's a give for a job well done. It's also a motivational tool to encourage employees to achieve business goals such as sales quota set by the company. So as you can see here in this picture, there was a Chinese company that treated 6,400 employees with French vacation. So that's an example and incentive. Getting a job well done. For example, hitting your business quota, you would receive an incentive tour or a tour, a free tour from your company. Next, we have conventions, as defined as a meeting with an exhibit. Its strength comes from the combined attractions of having multiple simultaneous activities. One of the more popular conventions here would be the ToyCon, the Toy Conference. A lot of attendees at this conference. Exhibition, so um, an event which produces services or promotional materials and display to the attendees visiting exhibits on the show. So this is one of the difference of exhibition compared to the others. Um, as you see here in the picture, they have uh, you would see a display of an exhibit of your company probably, and the event focuses primarily on business to business relationship. um, as you can see, the types here, there's a consumer show, a trade show, combined exhibit, fair exposition or expo. I think the picture here depicts the franchise conference here in the Philippines. Next is we have the events based on purpose and content. You have a marketing event and a festival. A marketing event is a commerce-oriented event to facilitate bringing buyers and sellers together or create awareness. That's a keyword there. Awareness of commercial products or service scheduled alone or conjunction with another event or with other events. So as you can see, one of the more popular brand in the US would be Victoria's Secret, wherein there would be models that would be marketing or showcasing their product. Here in the Philippines, you have the Bench Fashion Show. So they're conducting a fashion show for brand awareness. You also have festivals. We call it fiesta in Filipino, wherein there would be cultural celebrations. Sports event, a spectator or a participatory event involving recreation or competitive sports activities. One of the more popular here would be an F1 racing event. And you have the Olympic or the Rio 26. Oh, this one is an Olympic event, the Rio 2016. We have locally, we have the Palarong Pambansa in the Philippines. Now, what is an advocacy or philanthropic event? This is more, we normally call it a charity event, wherein the participants or we would be conducting specific charity events to hold fundraising events, and you would conduct this to normally to give way to our less fortunate brothers and sisters. Now, an event normally has a multiplier effect, or what we call a tourism multiplier effect, because the spending or creating an event generates or coordinates with a lot of direct and indirect in this coordinates with a lot of direct and indirect industries. For example, if you create an event, you would normally have uh, transportation that you would require to go to that place and an accommodation to go to that place. So to know more about the tourism multiplier effect, maybe you could go to the site UNWTO and look for how tourism multiplier effect, how it creates jobs and creates uh, other affects other industry in a good in a positive way. So what is the scenario in the Philippines when it comes to mice? So it is traced back way back during the 1970s when President Marcos decreed presidential decree number one is to establish the Department of Trade and Tourism. So you can see in this slide some of the history of the mice in the Philippines, where it can be traced back to the Philippine Tourism Travel Association. We also have the Tourism Act of 2009, wherein it's generally to strengthen the role of tourism economic growth in the Philippines. That's why we are trying to strengthen the MICE industry. It's actually an industry here in the Philippines, MICE industry. So if you look at this, in this slide, there are attached agencies that is also concerned with MICE. For example, the Tourism Promotion Board. It's concerned in promoting and pushing Philippines to be my pushing the industry to be number one or generator of income generator driver here in the Philippines. Oh, as you can see here in this slide also, what the Tourism Promotion Board uh, primary role is, especially when it comes uh, to the MICE industry, be marketing the Philippines as one of the major MICE destinations. Here you could see in this slide you can see the CIT or the role of CIT in the MICE industry also. For example, the CIT helps you in bid preparation, wherein suppliers will be producing uh, your supplies for your events, and they could help you with that. So you could see also here the strategy of Department of Tourism or DOT for MICE. Now, first is to position the Philippines as the preferred MICE venue. It is also to encourage investments here when it comes to convention centers, because centers are the usual venue for MICE, and also to have accommodation facilities for the tourists, and of course for the airports to welcome the tourists for the MICE events. Now, what are the trends when it comes to tourism and MICE? So you can see in the slides there are a few eight trends. So for example, LCC or low cost carriers, the which means that airline fares are becoming competitive, therefore driving the prices down and then encouraging more tourists here and encouraging uh, MICE to foster the growth of MICE in the Philippines. Next, we have social trends. We have the power. We have the power of baby boomers, wherein the we call this a gray tourist, having um, older people, retired people having the money to come here to the Philippines, maybe to attend MICE, to attend MICE events and to spend their money here. And we have the Generation C, the rise of Generation C, which is connected, content driven, and community. Then we also have the social media, which is connected with number two, which is being connected and content driven. We also have the industry trends. We have eight here. For example, right now, because it's very uh, you know that there is a pandemic going, so that it's very pertinent or very up to date or in trend, the virtual events, wherein there would be uh, you know that all events are not allowed right now, so there would be virtual meetings, there would be virtual competitions. So number eight would be a very good trend for the MICE industry. So that's it for our module. See you next module.